Board is clear. Daniel, microphone's yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Daniel Erspamer, CEO of the Pelican Institute. For those of you who don't know, the Pelican Institute is Louisiana's free market think tank. So our job is to look at, study, research, provide recommendations on government policies that advance human flourishing, that advance pathways of opportunity for every Louisianan. And at the end of the day, that's our belief, is everyone in Louisiana should have the opportunity to thrive. And so tax policy plays a really important role, obviously, in that conversation. And Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank you. You have done great work and as evidenced by the number of cards submitted today and folks in the audience in meeting with stakeholders. This is hard work, as you know, and complex. And to the questions that have been raised, it just speaks to the complexity of the tax code as it exists today. And I'm here to add to Robert and Dawn and others who have said, complexity really is the sin of our tax code. If you do the numbers, certainly, we a number of different perspectives on how high or low the burden may be. By any measure, we end up middle of the upper of the pack, right, in terms of a low tax burden. It's not the lowest, it's not the highest. The sin really is complexity. And so any steps forward that reduce complexity, advance simplicity and predictability in the tax code is something we're going to be in favor of. A couple to add to Robert's stack of studies of this, the Pelican Institute could add its on top of this, which looked, Senator Luno, both at individual and corporate income tax rates. Just again, taking a revenue neutral approach to this, which I think is the right way to proceed, even outside of the federal law. Of course, that provides some challenges as well. But a revenue neutral approach, even by just doing that, our numbers suggest bringing simplicity to the system will produce several thousand jobs and an increase of about 4 to 6% in the gross domestic product, or the total measure of economic activity in the state of Louisiana. So it tells you just how important simplicity and predictability is to individuals, to entrepreneurs, to enterprises. And the question may be then, why now? And my argument would be we are as you well know, we are at a moment of great change in our country. We have among perhaps the most mobile workforce in the history of the world. We have people leaving high tax, high regulation states like California and Illinois and New York. And where are they going right now? If you looked at Robert's map, originally they're going to Texas, they're going to Florida, they're going to North Carolina, they're going to Tennessee. We should be on that list. We should be welcoming and opening our arms to new enterprises, new entrepreneurs, new families. You all know the great place we have to live, with a great quality of life, access to cheap energy and ports and transportation. All of these things are working in our favor, and yet it's policies like tax policies and others that get in the way of allowing us to have a thriving economy, and a thriving economy for everyone, that everyone plays by the same rules, that there's fairness and predictability in that system. So the chairman's constitutional amendment gets us down that road. It's an important component, and it's an important component for just good tax policy. As Robert said, there are groups left, right, and center. All of us agree that this deduction for federal taxes paid is just not great policy. Where there's disagreement, to the extent there is in what you do next after that. How do you actually construct a tax policy that's good and fair for everyone? And that's good debate for us to have. That's good to air all sides of this and get involved, so that we can get to something that gets us the best thing for the state of Louisiana. So there's going to be a lot of proposals on this, certainly a lot of those starting over on the House side, as they should. And from a Pelican Institute perspective, we're in favor of any step forward that gets us closer, again, and based on those principles of fair, flat, simple, and predictable, that gets us closer to those opportunities for growth and pathways for opportunity. So I appreciate the opportunity to share our perspective on this. I commend Senator Allen and the committee for taking up this big issue. It's important. It's going to be worthy of great debate, and I look forward to being a part of it and appreciate your leadership in doing this. So thank you so much. I'm happy to answer any questions, but grateful for the opportunity to share our perspective.
Question by Senator Luno.
More for comment.
Yes, sir.
I'd really like to see you at the table when we talk about simplifying the corporate tax code as well. I mean, this is a good step, I think. We need to do the exact same thing, and I'd love to see you guys at the table for that.
Be happy to, Senator, and if you're open, I'd love to sit down and share our perspective on that, and we've got a corporate tax plan as well. So
I'd appreciate that.
Perhaps there'd be some overlap in our perspectives on
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you, sir.
I love to see it when you're showing the love. Thank both of you for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.